We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Okay, so I'm continuing with Vlogmas. I'm not gonna give up, I promise. Oh, good. What is it? Hold on, let me turn this down. It's probably loud. What is it? Hello world and all who inhabit it, I think. I think he says good morning world and all who inhabit it, but I say hello world and all who inhabit it. So, hello world and all who inhabit it. I'm continuing with my Vlogmas. And let's just talk about today, okay? Let's just talk about how my life is going. Yesterday in my mukbang, I was kind of talking about Bumble and boys and those sorts of things. But here's something. So anyway, it's very rare that I develop like a crush on a person because, first of all, I'm almost 24, so that's kind of lame. But it's mostly because, I don't know, I just, they're special, right? Like, crushes are like, when you're into somebody or you're like, oh, this person seems kind of cool, that's different than like, oh, I have a crush on somebody. Because, like, to me, I've been figuring this out because, I was in a relationship for so long that I kind of forgot what all that stuff was like. I'm recently realizing that crushes are crushes and they're separate from thinking someone's attractive or being interested in somebody. It's different. A crush is like you're infatuated with the person and who they are, what they represent, those kinds of things. And it's very rare that happens. But when it does, I've noticed that it's always the same type of person and they're always very similar to my ex. And I think a lot of people would think, oh, well, that's probably because you miss him or whatever. But I want to give some context to clarify that I have a type and I don't stick to that type. I'm not regimented about it. Is that the right word? I'm just not strict about it. I don't really care if they're not the correct type, but I have just noticed that that's the pattern. Like, I can't control my feelings. I can't control how I react to things, like my brain or my body or whatever. My body, that sounds weird, but your heart or however, whatever. I can't control that and who I end up just being infatuated with. And I've noticed it's typically the same type of person. So I'm gonna give some context because I think this is kind of interesting and I like to talk about it. Who really cares? My first crush, actually my very first crush, and I didn't know this was a crush. I was very confused by this. I just remember I kept thinking about this boy. He had big brown eyes. He was Latino. I think he was kind of on the tall side. I don't really remember, but I was like 5, so he's tall for a 5-year-old. Who knows? But like, to me, I was like, whoa, like, that's a person. I kept like thinking about him and I thought that was really weird because I didn't know what feelings were. I was like, what? I grew up in a household where, that just wasn't something. We're not like that. We're kind of more hard and we make jokes a lot and, whatever. I don't know, just having crushes on boys was weird. So I just didn't think, I was like, I don't have crushes on boys. But I did. But I was just fighting it. So I had a crush on this boy and I didn't realize until years later. I realized that was my first time feeling a crush because I always thought that was weird. I was like, what was that about? Like, why was I so interested in that person? And I never really spoke to him. He just talked, like, he was in another class. So when all our classes would come together and he was there, I just remember I would look at him a lot. And I think that's so interesting that my young little baby brain was like having a crush on this another little kid and I didn't realize that that's what it was. Like, that's so funny. But now I know because, I don't know, at some point I figured that out. I was like, oh, that's why I was so like interested in him, because it was like my first time having a crush. Then the next crush I had was one of the longest standing crushes I ever had. It was what I thought was my first crush because it was the first one that I really noticed. It was this kid, and I know he found out about it later, but it started in, I think, 3rd grade because that's when we met, and he was in all my classes because we were in the GATE program, smart boys. He was Peruvian and he had big brown eyes. He was skinny. He was kind of I don't know if he was on the tall side, but I remember him being, I guess, kind of average height or on the tall side for a boy in our class. I don't remember. I don't really think I really paid attention. But oh my gosh, I was so obsessed with him. Like, I always wanted to talk to him. I was really mean to him because I was like, oh, I think because I was fighting those feelings, and I didn't tell anybody I had a crush because I thought crushes were embarrassing. I was like, I don't have crushes on boys. Finally, in 6th grade, this was 3 years. I had a crush on this boy for 3 years because we were in school together for that that long. And I always had a crush on him. And it was crazy. Anytime I got to talk to him, I was like so excited. And he was really mean, by the way. Like, his friend group was really mean to my friend group. Like, me and my best friend growing up, they were so mean to us. They made fun of my big feet, how tall I was. They called me fat. They called me anything. For some reason, they tell you that that's a boy's way of flirting. First of all, I don't think it is. I'm pretty sure it's not, because I just don't think it is. I think they were just being mean. Maybe with my other friend, with my friend, because they called her short, and that's not really, I don't know, I guess being called short's kind of in school, that seems mean, but I think the insults to me were a little bit more, they meant it, because I was kind of annoying. I was kind of just aggressive, especially for a girl. I just had a lot to say, and I was kind of bitchy, so whatever. So 6th grade, I'm hanging out with all this group of girls that we've established a friend group. This girl, I would stay over at her house a lot. She was friends with this boy that I had a crush on for 3 years. And actually probably another year, because I think it went into middle school, because we ended up going to the same middle school, but then he got a girlfriend, and that's a whole other thing. She asked me, who do you have a crush on? Who do you have a crush on? And everybody knew I had a crush on this guy. Everyone knew, except I didn't want to admit it to myself, but everybody knew because it was obvious, because I'm stupid. So she was like, who do you have a crush on? And so we exchanged crushes, like who we had crushes on. And hers, I was like, oh, okay, kind of knew that. She told him, which I'm like, girl, that's so rude. But she told him, and I found out we had a promotion party, a 6th grade promotion party at her house. And she said, I told him, and I said, what did he say? Because I thought, oh my God, this is it. Maybe he'll finally say that he likes me back, because for some reason in my head, I always thought that was kind of a thing, because he was always like extra mean to me. So I thought, I don't know, very stupid, because he clearly had crushes on girls that he would openly say, and they were always like pretty, preppy, cute, petite, beautiful, all that. Not saying I wasn't beautiful, but I didn't fit the bill. I'm just gonna be honest, I never have. Anyway, I said, what did he say? And she said he didn't really say anything. He just kind of said like I knew it or something. And I remember I sat there and I was like, okay, everything's fine. But I was so crushed. It really hurt. Then in middle school, I didn't really let the crush go. But yeah, it's just there's kind of this theme of skinny Latino boys who are kind of emo. This is very specific. They have a wide range of music, but mostly they listen to alternative or hip hop or rock. Musicians that's a thing. Big brown eyes. Did I say Latino? They're usually Latino. And that's not me being like racist. I don't purposely look out and go, I want to date a Latino. That's not how I think. I don't know why that is. Maybe that's something that's interesting to me too, and I'm trying to figure out, because I've just recently noticed how much of a thing that is, because I'm attracted to a lot of different kinds of people. They tend to be kind of skinny emo boys or whatever. Specifically, my attraction to this type of person, and someone who's very nonchalant. That's the other thing, is someone who's very nonchalant. I'm not sure why all of those factors combined makes a person, but what I just described to you is also my ex in a nutshell. So he was perfect, my type exactly. But this has been a running theme in my life since I was like 5. So it's like weird, and I don't know where it comes from. I don't know why it is. It just is. So yeah, there were other crushes after my elementary school crush that were the same. There have been maybe like 2 crushes since John. I feel like that people that I just kind of got infatuated with, and in my head I thought, oh, it's just because they remind me of John. But now I'm like, whoa, it's really not. Like, you know, when you really think about it, it's not. Most of the time these guys aren't interested in me. At least that's how I feel anyway. But I don't know if that's me getting in my head or not, or if genuinely they're just not interested. Sometimes I think I overthink things, and I think they're less interested in me than most guys are, but they're about the same level. I'm sure they're about the same level of interest overall. It's just that I overthink the people that I have a crush on, because I am deeply infatuated with them, so obviously I'm more sensitive to it. So anyway, this is all to lead up to the fact that this guy, this is lame as fuck. This is so lame. So this guy, I just saw a video of him. Maybe I'm revealing too much information. I don't care. I saw a video of him playing guitar. Oh God, I hope he doesn't see this. I don't know why he would. And I was like, fuck. I said some explicit things. I was not sober. This was last night. I was not sober, which I recorded my mukbang last night. So y'all know I'm just a mess. Last night I was not sober, and I was like, I said some explicit things. I retweeted this video and said some explicit things about it. Let's just leave it at that, okay? And I was like, wait a minute, I don't even know who this person is. Like, I'm gonna delete it because I don't even know who this person is. And it's like, it's too much. It's too much. Like, girl, you're doing too much. Because he had like, it's not like it was like a video with like a bunch of retweets and stuff. Like, yesterday was doing this thing where it was focusing too much, and I'm worried it's doing that again. Probably not, because it's not standing up. So I said some things, and then I deleted it because I was like, oh, don't be stupid. But I don't know. I just wasn't thinking, and it wasn't like a huge huge popular tweet, so it's like everyone's gonna see it. So I don't know. So then he slid into the DMs and was like, you ain't slick, I saw that before you deleted it. And I was like, the fuck? And I was like, okay, I don't know if this person's cute, I don't know what I don't know anything about this person, but I was like, I'm open to it, because that video, I love musicians. That's like my fetish, is hands, guitarist hands, bassist hands, specifically bassist hands, just long calloused fingers from playing an instrument. I was like, whoever this is, at least he can make a video like that. So I was like, okay, we'll see. So I looked on his Twitter, then I looked on his Instagram, tried to follow his Instagram. I don't know. Then I saw that one of my friends was following him on Instagram, and I was like, do you know this person? Right away. I was like, details. Because that's what you do with your homegirls. You ask for details. I asked her for details. She said he was really nice. They actually are good friends from like high school, which I was like, dope. Then upon further research, I realized he is perfect. And the infatuation began, my friends. And once it begins, it's annoying. It's annoying for me. It's really annoying. I start obsessively looking through all their social media, trying to look at pictures of them, look at videos of them. I'm like, wow, look at how cute. Oh my god. Like, it's lame. It's like a Jonas Brothers fan page from 2006. Like, it's pathetic, okay? Like, the level of infatuation involved with me and guys that I have crushes on. And I was like, okay, I just have a crush. And my friend even said, like, you just have a crush, because I was like, I'm being so lame, because I felt like I was being so lame, and I like didn't know how to talk to him. And that's the other thing, I'm pretty good at talking to guys. It's not hard for me. It was before, but now that I'm like an adult, it's fine. It's pretty easy. But when I have a crush on somebody, voice is like cracking, it's hard. Like, I'm like, I like you a lot. So this guy, I like him a lot. He's like really beautiful, and he was playing those instruments. He was playing that guitar. He has great taste in music. Oh my god. This is too much information. I'm gonna give out too much information. Beach. This is too much information. I might cut this out. No, I'm gonna leave it in. I'm stupid. His avatar is 2D from the Gorillaz, which is my favorite band of all time. So, you know, they're my favorite. Like, I'm obsessed with them. That's already like, excuse me, love of my life. Also, I think he likes anime, so what the fuck. Oh, and he went to Japan. I saw on his Instagram. This is too much information. I'm so sorry. He went to Japan. Like, I want to go to Japan. Anyway, I'm like crying. I'm a mess emotionally. It's just hard because it's like, I don't know. I'm just a mess. I've always been a mess though, whether I was with somebody or not. His avatar on Twitter is 2D from the Gorillaz, and we're talking about that, and he said, oh, people said that I look like 2D. Here's the weird part. Friends and family. Here's the weird part. 2D was like the first, you know how we have cartoon crushes? That was like my first like cartoon crush, like for real. Like, because I saw the Feel Good Inc. video, and I was so obsessed. And it was on a commercial, and I was a kid, so I didn't, it was like, now that's what I call music. And I was like a kid. I wasn't like listening to music on my own. But every time the commercial would come on, I would like obsessively stare at it. And I was like obsessed with 2D. I was like, wow, I don't know what this cartoon character is, but I want them to marry me. So, that's pathetic. So the fact that he said that, I was like, that's spooky ooky. And sometimes I think, I don't know, I think that things just stand out to me. Like, I think I get vibes from things, like premonitions and stuff. So when I see something that is going to be significant to me later in life, it sticks out to me in some way. I am emotionally charged by it, or I am drawn to it, or I'm given some kind of energy by it. So hopefully that means a good thing in his direction. Hopefully that means that there's something positive to gain from communications with this person. He's hot, so there's that. But overall, this is just weird stuff that's going on in my mind. And I hate when I have crushed on people, because then it's like all of a sudden I can't really talk to other guys, and I'm just like kind of infatuated with one person, and it's very annoying. So that's kind of happening right now, and I'd kind of like it to stop, because maybe I'm overthinking it, but I'm not sure that he's interested. I think he's interested in the degree that most men are interested. I would be surprised if he was interested the way that I'm interested in him, especially because, again, he's my type in the sense that he seems very nonchalant, and my type is nonchalant guys, and nonchalant guys are kind of shitty, honestly. Like, that was kind of the problem with my ex, is that they're just not expressive. They don't seem affectionate or very nice or very gentlemanly in a lot of ways, and for some reason I'm really drawn to that, and I kind of don't want to be. So that's kind of my issue too, is like, this person's giving me the same vibes that all the guys that I've been infatuated with have given me, and they always end up not just disappointing me but hurting me because they make me feel like I'm not even good enough to receive their affection or validation or anything. And then that kind of feeds into my fear of that I'm constantly obsessing with people who it's hard to get their validation from because I have issues with myself, and I feel like love should be worked for, and it shouldn't. But it's like in my head I'm like, oh, you know, he really loves you if you had to work hard for it or something, or like if he's not like that all the time or whatever. Obviously this is just I'm going down tangents. Obviously I'm just talking to a guy, it's not a big deal, but these are things that go on in my mind typically when I'm thinking about just anything in my life, relationships, romantic or otherwise, anything, that this is just an issue for me. And am I feeding into it, or am I attracted to people solely because of those issues that I already have? It's a lot to think about, but it is kind of that's something that is frequently used in emotional abuse, is rewarding someone with infrequent validation. It makes them feel like when you treat them shitty all the rest of the time, it's okay because you were nice to them once. And it makes that person, me in this case, want to work hard to get that validation and do whatever you say in order to make you love them. It sucks because I tend to be drawn to people that are not affectionate or don't seem to like me because I almost kind of want to work for it. I'm also at a point where I don't want to work for it anymore, and I'm getting annoyed with those kinds of things, and I'm triggered by them because I think about the stuff that I've gone through, or unhealthy relationships or toxic relationships I've had in the past. It's like one of those things where when I see it starting to happen, I'm like, no, fuck that. Like, I'm over it. But at the same time, can that be separated from someone who just happens to be a little nonchalant or just kind of on the whatever side, on the casual side? And don't I kind of like that in some respect, because I don't like overly gentlemanly or treating me like I'm some kind of object to be like admired or adored, because I'm just a person. Women and men are equal. So in some regards, that's also why I like it. But it's like, I don't know where the line is, and I don't know what's real and what's a part of conditioning. This is just an overall general philosophical anything in your life applying question thing. I didn't even speak correctly just now, I'm sure. What is my conditioning and what is me? And what is healthy and what is unhealthy? And what do I really want? And what is my brain telling me? What do I think I want, I guess? What is going to fulfill my soul? I don't know. You know, these are just things I'm thinking about, and it's, it's been rough. But that's why I don't like having crushes on people. I start overthinking, and then it just makes me think a lot about why. Maybe I overthink my feelings, because whenever I have feelings, I think about them. And I guess that's part of what I went through has caused me to be that way, because so much of what I was doing and investing my time in was literally out of letting myself be a victim of, emotional abuse in some sense, and manipulation, and allowing myself to feed into being used in some way and being kind of an object, not objectified in like she's a woman, she's an object in the gentlemanly sense, but almost in the exact opposite, where they make you feel like you're empowered and like you're equal and you're an individual, but really you're just a pawn to them in some sense. Like, you are only as good as the value you bring to their life. I am so much more than that. You're so much more than that. We're all so much more than that. What we mean is what we mean to our own lives. It doesn't matter how you affect other people, and that's hard for me because I am a people pleaser, and I am obviously an entertainer. I like to influence people. I like to talk to people. I like to whatever, that kind of stuff, but I've always been that way. And that's the other thing. How much of that is conditioning, or how much of that is a character flaw, and how much of that can be appreciated, and how much of that can I really use to my advantage, and how much of that is healthy and can make me happy? I don't know, and I couldn't tell you. And that's really the journey that I'm on, and it goes so deep, and it sucks. It's so hard. Man, this is another rant, me talking about my feelings. No one cares. I hope you do, but anyway, this is just thoughts that were on my mind. Hopefully I can get some answers, and I'm just trying to meditate and do some self-reflecting. So I started reading tarot cards. Hopefully that will help too. Doing yoga, really trying to focus on me. But when things like this come up, it makes my mind start thinking about all these things that I just don't have the answers to yet, and I'm looking for. Maybe not super actively, but like as active as I can be. But some things you just have to be patient and let them come to you, I think. I think that's gonna be it for this vlog. This is just me talking in my car because I just got out of work, and I'm probably not going to do anything for the rest of the day. We'll see. If this is the end, then thank you so much for watching. I love you very much. Thank you for listening to me rant, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.